All right, I'm gonna try something a little different. Hey guys and gals, I'm doing a commission sketch card puzzle for a client, black with some gray tone, and then I probably will hit it with a little hit of color. I actually have some Sattler pens, they're pretty cool. Found them on Amazon and stuff. So, and I'm drawing with a Micron, and these are going to be drawn on my. These are actually old custom Frankie B. Washington sketch cards that I did years ago. I'm just one of those people where it's like I hate just tossing out stuff, and hopefully to add to the value of the art with something that I've had for years. So this is really different for me to be sitting here sort of talking and drawing, because I don't find it easy to do. When I draw, I kind of go into my own little universe, and then the magic happens. You know what I mean? Anyway, most people online sort of see me as this guy who, I love drawing giant monsters and kajus and stuff like that, and that's true. I am definitely an advocate for it, just because, my first comic book was a Marvel Spider-Man comic. I vaguely remember getting it from this. I grew up in Boston, so JP. So I remember getting it from this store that was actually an old school bus. Yeah, that's crazy. But my mom gave me some money, and that was my first comic. I don't know what issue it was. Can't even recall. It's been so long. And it kind of had an impact on me. But it never had the impact that something about giant monsters. I was always into monsters. I love werewolves and, Frankenstein monster and stuff like that. But when I got hit to when Creature Double Feature played Godzilla and Gamera and Damasian and all that stuff, that changed my life. Like, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Look at these giant creatures and stuff like that. And so my fondest memory is my mom taking me to Chow World that used to be in Dedham. And she took me in there, and I remember there was a comic book rack, and they used to sell these comics, man, like 10 to a pack. And I remember on the cover, it was Herb Trimpe's Shogun Warriors, issue #1. Man, that cover, it just called to me. It was like magic. I remember begging my mom, can I get it? And I mean, at that time, boy, I mean, don't quote me, but I feel like the price was maybe like $5 for like 10 books or something like that. So it wasn't something that's gonna break the bank. And mom was cool with that. So I got it, and I remember just staring at it for the longest times, because I think it was during that time too when there was a show called, shows all grouped together called Force 5 that used to come on the Fox network, or Fox 25. We did, and it had all these different robots that were actually, from the Shogun Warriors and stuff like that. In my mind, that's what I thought. I was like, oh yeah, these are like the toys and stuff like that. So, and they were amazing. I mean, they were just incredible shows. So that heavily influenced me, more so to the point where I was like, wow, man, I just, I wanted, if I was gonna be an artist, man, I wanted to be the dude that's, drawing, at the time I didn't call them kajus, but giant monsters and giant robots and stuff. How do you get that gig? And so, when I would go looking for comic books, I of course look for the Shogun Warriors, and then Herb Trimpe and them, and Doug Munich. I hope I'm not destroying his name, but they also worked on Godzilla, and man, that was man. Even though it's funny, because Godzilla didn't look like Godzilla that I saw, on Creature Double Feature in a certain degree. Like, I mean, he had some aspects of it, but it was okay. In my mind, it was still Godzilla. And what made it even more better was that he was in the Marvel Universe. So coexisting with Marvel characters. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And that they were able to do this. And I was like, wow, maybe there's some hope. And mind you, at this time as a kid, I mean, I still love superhero stuff. I mean, Captain Marvel, or Shazam, Captain Marvel, the Shazam Captain Marvel, is my all-time favorite character. And I remember watching the '70s show with oh God, what's his name? Oh God, Jackson Boswick. Excuse me. That's who I really like. But there was another actor too, and I can't think of his name. But I remember that was a heavy influence with me as well. And I actually got to meet Jackson Boswick a couple of years ago, so that was really cool. But it really changed my life, and I really was like, wow, man, maybe this is a chance, that there's a chance for someone like me who's really into this stuff, that maybe I can be doing stuff like that. Well, needless to say, the comic book industry, you know, they still maintain the whole superhero thing, and I get it. When I was young, I didn't, and it kind of, it left me with a kind of bitter taste in my mouth, because I just, as much as I love superheroes and even the other stuff like Punisher and stuff like that, they just, in my mind, it just wasn't that diversity. And also because, there are people, granted, who like these things, and I wanted to really see more of it, and Godzilla and Shogun Warriors kind of ended, on their, I think, the 20th issues. So it was over, and then we got some other stuff, but never to that level. So I guess for me, it's become almost like this kind of mission where, the people who I really admired art-wise and stuff, they're gone. I know that Herb Trimpe passed away, and I got a chance to meet him and talk to him and stuff, which is amazing. And when I draw, I kind of, I do, not even kind of. I think about him an awful lot when I'm drawing, and the fact of what kind of legacy that somebody can leave, that can sort of, give someone else who may have that same kind of wild, excitement for this kind of genre. So, I'm pushing it, trying to work on projects that are very that's really connected to the genre, and respecting it. I think that Herb Trimpe's kind of style was really fun. It wasn't super serious. It almost reminded me a lot of the Showa era of Toho, with the movies and stuff, where you had Godzilla fighting beside Jet Jaguar, and even Destroy All Monsters and stuff like that. It was, and it's funny because they would sneak some serious stuff in there, but then other times, it wasn't, and that's pretty cool. It just was fun, and I guess that's what I want to kind of recapture. I want to bring that to the market as well. I'm a big fan, and just there should be all kind of different storytelling of the genre, so we should be able to see works that seem close to like what was done with Pacific Rim, or like with the MonsterVerse stuff that's coming out. But then also, can there be room for stuff that what I want to do, and and then stuff that's Kaiju Max is doing and stuff, where it is humor and stuff with it. I just think that we have to push for this, and also the fans have to want it as well too. I always question that, where it's like, you have to understand that a lot of these properties like Godzilla and stuff, they're held by a corporation that is tight with it. Then Toho's notorious. They're notorious for not really letting their stuff go out there. So do you just wait to see that stuff, or will you give something that's new and different a chance, and hopefully experience something? I mean, I always did. I mean, think about it. You had a show like, another one like the Inhumanoids. That's a good one to really think about. Where, think about it, you had kaiju-like creatures fighting against guys in metal suits, and these creatures are trying to take over the world and stuff like that. And that was amazing, attempt, and I'm glad they did it. that's actually one who I actually did a print of the Inhumanoids, and I'm still, to this day, I still have to do the companion piece to it too, where I show Earth Core, sort of coming on the other side, like what are they doing? It's always tough, when I'm working on these things because, work-wise, as a, a commercial illustrator, I doing this stuff for like 30 years, so it's about survival for me, where I'm a contractor, and as much as I enjoy doing fan art, it just doesn't pay the bills, so I have to work on stuff that's that's going to pay the bills, and a lot of that stuff is corporate stuff. Worked on ads, advertising, and done some toys, and worked in film, animation. Sometimes when I sit back and I look at my portfolio, or just even like the stuff that I worked on, even I have to sort of pinch myself, because it's like, wow, I can't believe that I've did all these things, and I'm probably the most unknown artist out there. Which is kind of cool too, because there's times when I sit back and I think about all the unknown artists that have created stuff that people have seen, and then people don't even know who they are. But that's okay though. That's cool, because I look at it like these heroes, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're ensuring that their livelihood is being taken care of. They're doing what they love, and I'm part of that. Yeah, I've never been one trying to get the glory of stuff. I just, if anything, glory to me is like somebody who digs my work, and even better, hires me to do something, because then that to me is a level of respect that's like, it's the respect that any contractor sort of wants from a client. That the fact that they're gonna dig in their pocket and say, hey, look, I really value the service that you're about to offer, or your skill set, and here, I want to hire you to do something. Or better yet, they'll just pass your name off to someone else, and then sort of like the snowballs from there. I know I go all over the place, but anyway, oh geez, see, this is what happens. It's tough doing this stuff on drawing, because I tend to, my mind kind of goes all over the place. Well, this piece I'm very fortunate about. This is pretty wild. I was offering some pieces up in Jessica's store of just some old Transformer sketch cards that I did, and offering them up for sale and stuff. And then someone responded and they said, hey man, I like this, and too bad you don't have the Dinobots, because I sold the Grimlock. Grimlock was gone. So I said, well, you can still commission me, and that's always been my nature. One of my strengths, which has helped me over the many years in this business, has been I'm not shy about stepping up and doing stuff. Hell, I once climbed Mount Katahdin twice, and I still pinch myself on that one, and reached the summit. So I'm definitely a risk taker, I mean, I won't just do something blindly stupid, but my whole life has always been based on the fact of, why not do it, kind of thing. So I just put it out there, and she stepped up and said, all right, cool, jumped on it. So to me, that just shows me, like, man, you're for real. This is you're making this happen. So I'm gonna try to hook this up for you. And it's funny because the Grimlock piece was only like a mid-shot head, and he was in his dinosaur mode and stuff. Right here, this is just, because I'm so appreciative of the fact that that she trusted me enough, because again, that's another thing too. It's like, it's so sad. Like when I read the stories where I see artists that are just taking advantage of clients in the sense of, they pay you and then you're not communicating with them, and and they gotta track you down. It's just, oh man, it's just bad. It's just real bad. I'm never a fan of that. I'm a Virgo, so I'll contact clients, man, and be like, hey, how you doing? I mean, not to the point where you're annoying, but I say, hey, how you doing? And I communicate. It was funny. I just some guy grabbing one of the Godzilla patches, and he so I asked Jess for his Jess my better half. Oh God, I love her. She and I love her like love her. We're married and stuff, and she's my muse. And she's the one who kind of takes care of all my sort of shipping my stuff for me. Thank goodness for that. It's a huge help. So anyway, she gave me the email of the guy who had purchased the Godzilla patch, and I said, well, I want to thank him, because that's the right thing to do. When I grew up, there was something about the etiquette of, that if somebody does something for you, that you should let them know, out of respect. Because again, for me, when someone digs in their pocket and they buy my stuff, I don't know. I don't have that arrogance to be like, yeah, I'm so amazing or so good that I shouldn't thank them for it. I thank anybody, even people that like my stuff, Just the fact that they took the time to, even write something is really cool, Yeah, it's like, and the funny thing too is that I don't think a lot of people understand that as a commercial illustrator, because I get people asking, oh, what are you doing and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, I'm working on stuff, I'm busy, and I don't think they understand the fact that as a commercial illustrator, I'm not just working on one job, I'm working on multiple jobs, so I have a massive what I call my war calendar, and it has things laid out, like things I got to get done and whatever, and I'm such a stickler on that. I mean, advertising taught me that. Working in corporate business really sharpened me, and I won't take it back. I met a lot of amazing people in advertising. Oh man, I almost wish in a certain degree that many artists today could get the opportunity to work in a studio element of advertising agencies. I don't even know if a lot of studios are even existing anymore. It was such a learning experience of just being around creativity, understanding deadlines, being able to just have your work really get looked at and scrutinized and stuff by, creative directors, art directors, feeling that sense of working on a project and feeling that you're part of a team. I mean, for me, the biggest kick for me was like seeing TV commercials that I was a part of, that I worked on, the storyboards for, keyframes or layouts for, and you're sitting there going, wow, I worked on that. Now it's on TV to millions of people. I'm just like going all over the place, but yeah, this is weird. Yeah, I've had a few people talk about like trying to do live streams, like me doing a live stream and stuff, but I don't know, because I feel like I ramble, and I'm just not that whole thing of trying to communicate with people while I'm drawing. That's really tough. And also, I'm doing this right now with my iPhone. I have like this nice stand kind of connecting to my desk and stuff, and it allows me to control, and so I can just focus on the art and not have to. I don't have like a computer. Like my computer's right on the right hand side of me right now, and I'm not even looking at it. It's just playing some jams and stuff. Yeah, there you go. Just gonna bounce over here to Grimlock. But anyway, yeah, it's hard times, now because of the whole Corona thing, which is funny. Me and Jess keep talking about it, where it's weird because as being a freelancer, I'm so used to this, but I'm not used to it. Where it's like I went out this morning and ran, and first time for the season too. Oof, tough. I don't know about anybody else, but boy, when you're running You know, if you haven't run, like usually it's like I wrap my running up because I'm just not a cold runner. I got a lot of respect for, and actually I don't even consider myself really a runner. I run as a form. I get a small more of a therapy also for health, but it's not something where I'm like people go I'm hardcore and whatever, and they're part of some club. Or I'm not in that stuff, but I do it because it's health, and also it's also therapeutic to me. It allows me time to just be out there and breathe, especially being an artist where we have this sort of solitaire life where you get sort of locked into your place and you don't even get to see the sky. So it's really nice. But anyway, I went out and actually it's pretty later for me, where it was like after like close to 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. and it's just nobody was out really, and that was weird, man. Because usually there would be cars already out. Like I ran past the Dunkin' Donuts and I saw some cars going in and stuff, but it's just for the drive-through. So definitely the impact of this is just crazy. But anyway, I don't know, So I really want to hook this up for her. It's exciting. And just in case people wanted to, I love the Transformers. I actually really love G1. When she told me that she wanted the G1s, because I asked her, make sure, because I also explained to her, I said, hey, look, I worked on some Transformer cards years ago for Region Marketing on their they had this campaign and with Hasbro and Optimum cards. I don't know, it's somebody else, but anyway, it was definitely connected with Hasbro. And I'll tell you, that was one set, man, where if somebody, man, it felt like Christmas. When they told me about that one, I was giggling. Now, I'll be honest with you. I won't lie to anybody. I'm very honest. When people talk about fandom and stuff like that, I'm not like the huge Transformer fan, even though I have some Transformers. I love the concept of Transformers. I love a lot of G1 stuff. Even went to the movies for the first Transformer movies, the animated movie. I love them. But I must admit that I'm more of a fan of the more super robot, Go Nage, Mazinga Z, that kind of thing, where human beings operating giant, robots and stuff. Whereas the Transformers were more of a more sentient robots, and also more, they had a more military kind of thing, which was pretty cool. But I just love, there's that part of me where I just love the fantasy aspect of, the fighting supervillains or alien invasion, that kind of thing. As hokey as it sounds, I just love that stuff. Like some evil despot from another galaxy just comes in and just says, for whatever reason, I want to take over Earth. That's all I need. One thing about Mazinga Z, you had Dr. Hell and stuff, and just, oh my God, that name. There's so many names in that, man, that I'm just like, oh, I want to, ugh. And then you got Grandizer, and of course my favorites, Dengardes. Oh, man, Dengardes is one. Well, for us, in a weird way, I always loved Dengardes just off the basis of Dengardes. I don't know, he looked like a black dude. He looked like me. He had these thick lips, man, and I was like, well, I don't know my lips that thick, but he had very Afrocentric features, and I remember that was a big thing for me. I was like, oh man, wow, this robot looks like black person. It didn't even matter. Windstar and his dad, that story was amazing too, and also I was always a fan of so at one point I actually considered going in the Air Force. So yeah. For one point, I thought I wanted to go in the Air Force and stuff. So I really love the story. I thought the story was really simple and easy to grasp. I love the fact that they trained to operate Dengardes, which I thought was really, really well thought out. So yeah, Dengardes is probably my favorite of the super robot shows, in which I have figures for and stuff like that. And I dream one day that, I don't know, someone will get the money to perhaps release a whole series and instead of just sub and I don't care, put some dubs in it or whatever, or even a live action. Could I even dare to believe? But yeah. But then also I love Getter Robo, G, and then Guy King is probably the big one, and of course Grandizer. I mean, I love them all. You also they called them the Star Avengers, but it was actually called Star Zinger. and it was really, really good. So, but anyway, this is pretty cool, man. I didn't think I was gonna be able to vibe on this, but this is really fun. So anyway, yeah, I think that one of the things I've learned that I try not to overdo stuff. You just kind of gonna try some little crossing right here. That's another thing too about me. As you can see, I'm going all over the place, but I've never been afraid. I got that from my teachers when I was in art school at Butera School of Art, where they just don't be afraid. I've never been one of those artists where they overthink stuff. There's some artists who just like, and look at that. Again, I'm not gonna throw shade on any artist or whatever, because everyone has their own kind of thing. I have a very relaxed approach to my work. I don't get all hung strung about stuff. I'm very natural in how I approach things. And people say, oh, if you taught class, well, I did. I taught some classes years ago, years. I got the chance, but I was very relaxed. Because there's that part of me where I think that as long as you can understand the fundamentals of art, then you'll be good. And then you just sort of work on developing your own voice, and that's pretty much it, in my opinion. I don't think that people should try to copy somebody or whatever. You should try to find your own voice, no matter what. I've always, there's people who suggested that I should stick into one path, and I was like, hell no, man. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to work on gaming, on doing artwork that has appeared published in RPG source books. I have worked on novels. I have done a lot of comic book stuff. I think more comic book stuff than people even know. That's floating out there. Some books, some stuff definitely published. Other stuff is in limbo, just sort of sitting and waiting for some day when they'll just miraculously pop out. But I've been a very busy artist, and I've always loved that, because I think that my kind of personality, I get bored really easy with stuff, and I want to kind of get things going. I don't like the fact of having to sit around and wait, and I don't like waiting on somebody else's timetable. Oh, that gets me. I'm like, screw that. I've always been a person who immediately jumps on things, especially like that's what made me so successful, especially when I lived in Boston in advertising, because 1 minute I'll be talking to one agency, and then I'll be like, okay, let me go call 3, 4, 5 more, and then put it out there, and then I'll wait and see who's gonna call first, and then somebody calls and whatever. So if one doesn't call, no hard feelings. I get it. I think that's one thing about it, is that I have a very realistic view on things. I just go, well, okay, I get it, and I don't pressure nobody. I just go, well, let me just move on, because I know if I talk to 10 people, I could find maybe 3 to 4 that would say, all right, let's give this cat a chance. He's got something here. Whatever. And that's what I bank on, and it doesn't hurt to ask, it doesn't hurt to just put yourself out there. But anyway, I think this is going to be good for today. And all right, so we'll see. We'll see how I do with the next stage. All right, there you go. I'll give you a nice little look. At the last minute, she told me that she's considering putting snarl somewhere. So that was another reason why I decided to just go with what was it? I decided to do this sort of puzzle effect, because if she does decide to go with it, then I can add snarl right over here and add another card and then extend Grimlock, so you get this beautiful kind of panoramic view of them. Grimlock's in the front and all in the back and stuff like that. But that's up to the client. If the client is interested in having it, fine. If not, okay, that's fine too. I believe that no one should be pressured to do anything, and you should never try to oversell anything. Never be heavy-handed with that stuff. So, all right, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to my rants, and I hope that you enjoyed this. All right, let me know. Comment. And say, hey, Frank, hey, dude, I dig what you're doing. Can you do more of it? Or, hey, Frank, I don't know, dude. Just stick to the drawing. All right. So anyway, peace out. And you guys stay well and stay strong. And by all means, stay creative. Peace.